And so, going into that review process a little bit deeper, a public comment period is opened as part of that. About 91% of the respondents, about 8,000 people that weighed in, actually weighed in favor of alternative, which is basically remove all this ranching, remove the fences, let these elk herds roam contiguously, all that. Now, what do you say to a park visitor who comes out here and says, I'm here to recreate, I want to enjoy unadulterated wilderness out here, I want to see these elk roaming together, and I want all this gone. I want these ranches gone. What do you say to those park visitors? Why should you be here?
I'm going to answer the first part of your question first, which came out as a statement. So I would like to challenge you a little bit with the percentage of the vote of the respondents. Do you know how many of those were cut and paste emails that had identical messages? That's a question. The purpose of NEPA is to get good substantive comments to make the process and the review better. It's not a vote. Percentages really should mean nothing, okay? When activist group, send from the same emails to all these supporters with a group of facts that actually are pretty, if you didn't know Point Reyes and you didn't know these resources and you didn't know the history, I probably would have said the same thing. If I lived somewhere on the East Coast and I saw what they were writing, I probably would have wrote in and said what they said is, I choose this alternative that gets rid of the ranchers based on what they were telling those readers. Look at the substantive comments of NEPA. That's what the Park Service is responsible to do. They're responsible to respond to each comment. If you get 5,000 comments that are identical, that's equal to one comment under NEPA, under the law. So they did a good job. And that's a completely misleading fact that says that somehow it's important that lots of people sent identical emails in. We're hearing noise, a lot of noise from the activists, but there is a lot of support for the ranchers continuing. And there's a lot of support for those people who care about...
Why wasn't there more support ginned up for the ranchers during the public comment period?
I was part of the ginning up. So we didn't ask people to write a bunch of letters that say the same thing. We asked people, get involved, learn the issues, find out what you want to say, what could make this draft better. Where was that draft lacking in depth of study? What was missed? Look at it carefully. Make a concerted effort to give substantive comments, something that's going to help this group do a better job with the NEPA process. We didn't ask for a bunch of letters saying we like ranchers, because those are useless in a NEPA process and should be. So the second part of your question was, what was the second part?
What to say to park visitors that come out here for recreation? And I think it's a little bit unique to see this kind of an operation in a national park. So people think national park and they think they're going to come out and see an unadulterated wilderness situation. What do you say to those park visitors?
It is a very unusual and a unique unit of the National Park Service. This is a national seashore, it's not a national park. This unit was set up and originally agreed upon to keep these unusual uses here. This is the first unit of the National Park Service ever to be created out of private land. This was done under agreements between the landowners, the ranchers, and the National Park Service, so that each party could have what they needed. So that's why this is a unique unit. Now, those people that say, I would rather have a wild and free of commercial commercial activities, those are real and important opinions, and I'm not here to try to change their opinion. All I'm saying is that there are places like that. There are units of the Park Service like that. We think that the original plan for this seashore was unusual, and we think it should be preserved. We think that Congress wanted it this way. Congress has then recently weighed in again, supporting the notion that these activities continue as a cultural resource. I won't try to change the opinion of people who would rather see it differently.